Welcome back to the Olympic Club in San Francisco. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink for the women's 5th place finals here on the show court as we get ready for some of the main matches, the men's finals. Paul Brady, Emmett Peixoto, and Catriona Casey and Jessica Gawley a little later on. This women's 5th place bonus coverage coming at you, streaming live on ESPN and the ESPN app, which we call watchespn.com, formerly ESPN3, or however you found it on your smart device. Some people said to me when we were talking about ESPN, they say, I just watch it on Xbox. Like it was something that they can find on Xbox, Dave. It was an ESPN app that was built into Xbox. But I mean, there's so many people deriving this broadcast from so many different means that, of course, we don't want to insult them. We're watching on a monitor provided by ESPN here in our broadcast booth, as Yvonne August from Fresno, California, going up against Courtney Peixoto, longtime rivals from the old days, if you might recall.
Yeah, they played in the finals of the Nationals in 2004. That was a match won by Yvonne August. Courtney was favored to win that match, if you remember, Dave, and it was a slight upset when Yvonne won that title. Courtney has never won a major singles title. She's been in the finals a number of times. She's been ranked in the top 4 throughout most of her pro career, which started when she was about 17.
Where's Yvonne from? Fresno, right? She's from Fresno, right? I think she's Fresno. Fresno.
And then it was 10 years off for her.
I'm guessing,
Yeah, it was mostly cardio kickboxing and Muay Thai, and eventually becoming a Muay Thai. Now, am I saying that right?
I don't know. You lost me at the first tie. But her husband, Ed, who was a great handball player, 1991, had the 35 and over national and world championship
5th place match
titles.
For the women's
As we listen to this announcement.
So serving first, we have Courtney from Watsonville.
Courtney Peixoto.
And reserving serve, we have Yvonne from Castro Valley.
I guess reserving serve is
1 match 25.
appropriate.
You call it retrieving serve.
Well, that's what you're doing. You're retrieving. When I play, it's
Zero,
retrieving
serve,
everything.
zero.
Everything's a retrieve.
Never heard it referred to as retrieving, though.
Oh, look at that.
Point.
Strong shoulder overhand right corner kill from Courtney Peixoto.
And walked it off right to the server's box.
But we're talking about Ed, who also qualified in 1991.
Point.
He then somewhat left handball just like his wife did and became
2-0.
really enthused in the martial arts himself.
Short.
I believe Ed's getting close to 60 now. I don't know, 1991, 35.
Second serve.
I have to do the math, and I'm not good at that. I have to go retrieve that information from my Palm Pilot.
At least 59 now.
I'm going to guess about 61.
Courtney looks really strong here early. She defeated Sandy Ng
Point.
to advance to this 5th place final, which is a very good win. Courtney nearly made the semifinals here, losing to Danielle Daskalakis in a very spirited round of 8 match.
Point.
And right now, she's just overwhelming Yvonne August.
Well, we see what, and we know
4-0.
what happens. There's Julia, Yvonne's daughter, who
Short.
is a top tennis player watching handball really for the first time in this sense. And she was too young
Second
to see
serve.
mom win that national championship, probably about 3 or 4 years old back then.
Well, it's got to be cool for mother and daughter, because you know Yvonne is at all of her daughter's tennis matches, and now her daughter gets to see her mom in action outside of
Down ball. Side out.
Muay Thai, of course.
Yeah, or the kickboxing, or
0 serves 4.
or telling her to do her homework. A different type of action. That's short, I thought.
I agree with you.
Wow. I'm just writing that one down. Back to the roof. Courtney, big windup.
Side out. 4 serves 0.
You know, Dave, you could see this as one of the local finals of a Northern California tournament and just be totally in awe. Here it's for 5th place, and it's still amazing.
Point.
That was the best rally of the match. Both ladies moving extremely well in the front court.
5-0.
And this is really the X factor in this match is Courtney's serve. She's got a great serve. You see it there, big setup now for Courtney. And Dave, you know how it is when someone comes after you with all this power, just immediately on your heels, because it's not like you can
6-0.
return that power with the same power. You have to start scooping the ball and just trying to keep the rallies alive, and that's what's happening to Yvonne here. Courtney's just attacking her.
7-0.
I've never understood that bouncing around on your toes, Dave.
Short.
Does that do something?
No, I
don't get
look
it.
at the opposite way. I don't want to bounce around or anything. I want to conserve all of this energy, not let it out. But then if you are kind of wired like the Anna Engels or maybe the Yvonne August, they want to attack and serve and shoot and first strike and all of that stuff. Maybe you've got that energy. You want to just keep yourself out there. I don't know.
I'll get back to that
Maybe
later.
Kara Mack knows. She's courtside. Let's go to her quickly. Kara.
Hey, guys. I'm with Catriona Casey, who's going to be in the finals here. Talk about women's handball. How is this match going on as well?
Yeah, like this is the 5th place playoff, and the standard is still very high. You know, both are very talented players, and obviously were very successful and took some time off from the game, and like they're working their way back into it now, and I'm sure they'll be getting stronger, like with more tournament play and everything. And both are very fit, like well. Here she's getting a lot of easy setups, maybe for quite power serves, and then mixing lobs as well. But I'm sure Yvonne will keep fighting to the very end because she seems very competitive, and I think women's handball is in a good place, and it's only.
Talking about your match coming up, Gawley, he played in the semifinals at the U.S. Open last. Taking anything away from that match that you're going to carry over till today?
Like I try in my play, we actually have played 3 times last 12 months. Actually, time just sharp, tough. Certain things game, and I'll work last. So she learned from you more, maybe feet, so she.
All right, thanks, catch you guys.
Could get his in under one. To Taylor, who is having a big birthday today, Minnesota State handball viewing party, and there's a lot of those viewing parties going on around the country right now, watching on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. So, well, 2 things. Thank you for watching Minnesota State, but also Jordan, happy birthday.
They'll be headed to the collegiates next week, Dave, in Portland.
Shout out.
They say they're doing a little film, getting themselves ready for next week. We wish them the best of luck at the USHA Collegiate Nationals, along with all the other colleges coming from around the United States and also Ireland. In fact, Dave, Catriona Casey, who we just heard, will be attending her 4th consecutive Collegiate Nationals, where she's won the singles and doubles. In her first 3 years, she's going for the unprecedented 8 titles. I believe 1 time, and that was Megan Mihalos, now Megan Dorniker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Point.
Martin Mulkerns has also won the first 3 years in the singles.
11-0.
Not the doubles.
Not the doubles. Okay.
Yeah, so he's going for 4 in a row in singles, which is
point.
Just getting.
That's kind of like a no-hitter, but the 8 is the perfect game.
Yeah, if you can make it to the round of 8, you've done well. That's. I mean, it's tough to do that.
Yeah.
Dave, I know you went to college for about 18 years of your life.
Didn't know that.
But you never played in any of the collegiate tournaments, which I felt was difficult. You're one of the 18-year collegiate students that never left with a doctorate degree. It's kind of hard to do.
Actually graduated in 4 years, but
then you went back to DeVry or some online university where you got a master's.
Short.
Hopefully psychology.
It was actually Duquesne University, Dave. I want to give a shout out to the Dukes in Pittsburgh.
Side out.
There's a side out being called there. Yvonne walking back as if.
We saw this in Yvonne's last broadcast
Zero
match.
serves
She was down 13-0 against Tracy Davis in the tiebreaker. Had to fight off a donut, and it looks like she might be doing the same here.
Wait.
And that's
Hold it.
unavoidable.
Hold it. Bend your ball. 13, 0 serves 13. Short. Second serve.
0 to 13 second serve, little lob throw back to the backcourt there from August.
Down ball. Point.
Now you see a little bit of emotion coming from Yvonne. She's
One
a
serves
pointer in the
13.
court, Dave, much like you. You point toward the sky and the sidewalls when you
Short.
I
after
did
every
that
call.
once yesterday.
She actually
Short
will say,
ball.
she's very much like young Bustos
Appeal?
out of Modesto, like
Appeal?
will point to certain spots on the
Line
court.
judge?
And
Call it short ball. 1 agrees.
But was there
Two
any
agree.
point
Short
or
ball.
hands in the air yesterday?
Second
yeah,
serve.
yeah, you did it multiple times. Actually, every serve you do it after you hit it. So you're actually just letting everybody know where the
Side out.
sidewalls are. We're making a video with some really cool sounds when you do that. It's going to be
wait
fun.
There's one.
I've been hearing about this video for 6 years now. Where is it?
Point.
It'll happen. There's a 14th point now for. It's going to happen now that you said that.
14 serves 1.
14 to 1. One more away
Short.
for halftime. That was short. Punch fist shot from Yvonne back to the right side. Doesn't. Peixoto bounces the
serve.
ball. Bounce back in. I mean, is that the key? That
The bouncing?
no, just hitting stuff soft to Yvonne. I mean, we found out that yesterday. Tracy Davis did it.
One
Now we
serves
see it
14.
from out here. Right down the middle.
But Courtney's there. Great
Side
anticipation.
out.
Yvonne says shoot it. I mean, hitting the ball right down the middle toward
14.
corner kill
Halftime,
shot artist. And
3
it's
minutes.
halftime. We're going to also take that 3-minute break. We'll be back in just a bit for Dave Fink here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Stick with us.
At shelters, you'll discover healthy and loving animals just waiting to become a part of your family. Why wait? You can make a difference in the life of an animal. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person and adopt your new best. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Oh, listen now. Can you hear the bluebird? Oh, look up now. Can you feel the sun? Oh,
Welcome back to San Francisco. This is the women's 5th place final. Courtney Peixoto de Mello taking on longtime rival Yvonne August. Courtney leading 15-1 at halftime. To put that in perspective, that'd be like the Super Bowl from last year when Seattle led by about 30 at halftime. Of course, Dave, there's no clock in handball, so you have to score that 25th point. In football, you can just sort of hang on to a lead and let the clock run out. Unless you're Green Bay playing against Seattle this year, Dave, in the NFC Championship game, and you have no idea how to run a 4-minute offense.
Well, they went into a 2-minute offense with 14 minutes left in the game. Right down the middle of the court, and Yvonne makes another hand error here. And I don't think this is nerves. I think after playing 3 or 4 rounds of handball, you start to feel it at the age of 46, 47.
Well, Courtney just playing really well right now.
Hold it. Air ball.
And just not sure that there's much
15
Yvonne can do right now, even if she was fresh. I mean, look at these serves. They have a reverse that checks up, dies in the left corner.
16 serves 1.
Back to the roof.
Side out.
I like that little underhand paddle from Yvonne, but her front court play hasn't been bad, but she's just not getting there. Courtney's doing a perfect job of keeping her in the back court.
Point.
Amazing serve there from August.
2 serve 16.
This is the women's 5th place final. 3rd place playing on a side court. You'd say, well, why wouldn't you just put this on the side? And
yeah, I do say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the players said to me for 3rd, do we have to play it in that tone of voice last night after the match? Yeah, well, what happens if we forfeit?
Point.
So when you hear those things, you say, well, maybe we shouldn't put it on to the show court because this one might be more competitive. Well, this one isn't that
3
competitive.
serve 16.
Just went off of a hunch based on the players saying that
your hunches
they've really panned out.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm waiting for one of them to actually pan out. There's a nice dive right there from August. Now, right back down the middle, though, overhits that ball, puts her hand up in the air. Left-handed roundhouse fist. Best rally of the event so far. Courtney is not going to dive. She wanted to, but.
Dave, you watched a lot of Yvonne in her prime in the early 2000s. What was it about her game? We've talked a lot about her intensity, but certainly you have to do more than be intense to win matches. What did she do so well?
Same thing she's doing now, but she had a really incredible first step, and I think mentally you say, I'm gonna strike up front and have that mentality, and she really did have it, Dave, much like you do when you play your matches. It was a quick starter, wanted to get the ball immediately and serve immediately. You always had to slow her down. That intensity would get into players' heads.
5 serve 16.
Very difficult to play against. Now that she's past the mid-40 range and making a comeback after 10 years, it's the same thing mentally. It's just the mind says go, body says whoa. Hold on. You should not be playing
16.
today. You need to take a rest for about 2 weeks. But she is now slowly starting to warm up, and you can see she trails by 10 instead of 15.
Well, this is what halftime does, and we've seen it a lot. Players go in with a huge deficit at the half, and they
second serve.
They come back, Dave, and it's a completely different match in the second half. We saw that to some extent in the men's 5th place final, where Sean Lenning trailed 15-10 in a listless first half for him, and then he comes back and cruises to victory in the second half.
Nice shot right there from August.
Smart shot.
Courtney is going to get it up there, but it doesn't make the front wall. I also think that Yvonne, you have to remember this. She's been out for 10 years.
7 serve 16.
The whole flow of everything, you have to kind of invent again, and then slowly it starts coming back. So you think every opportunity she has to score a point is just benefiting her every single second of this match.
Well, you know, it takes more than a couple months of playing to come back from 10 years off for most people.
16 serve 7.
Almost for every people.
Yeah, almost. Not all, but most. Almost.
Side out.
Courtney throwing her feet down on the ground.
7 serve 16.
Dave, you see Yvonne yelling and pumping herself up to let's go when she's down 13-0. And it seems kind of silly, but, you know, she is in this match. I mean, maybe that's what you need to do when you get down. I mean, I get down 13-0, and it's just, how quickly can I get my stuff into my trunk?
Side out.
Danielle Daskalakis just now defeated Tracy Davis by the score of 25-12 for third place. So Danielle advances.
16 serve 7.
Danielle, who had never defeated Tracy before in any match, defeated her in Vegas in the one-wall big ball doubles and now beats her in four-wall
Point.
small ball singles. Do we have to say four-wall small ball, Dave, or do we have to? I think when you say four-wall, it's implied as small ball unless you say four-wall big ball. Wouldn't you say?
I know Tony
Point.
Healy's watching. He hates the fact that we would have
18 serve
differentiate between the different forms. Just call it handball.
Short.
Then you talk to the guys that play team handball, which is now called handball.
I know you talk to a lot of them.
They hate the fact
Second
that we use
serve.
it. They say this is wall ball.
So are you Skyping with them from Europe, or how does
Yeah.
that work when you talk to those
I'm
players?
so social with those players.
There's a big setup here. Yvonne, she doesn't let it drop, though.
Side
But
out.
she just hits it in the perfect spot.
Seven serves 18.
It feels closer than this, Dave. Maybe because Yvonne has scored 7 of the last 12 points. She got herself way behind.
Well, the bigger thing is that she didn't give up. I don't think that's even in her blood. Should be a big setup for Courtney. Goes down to the corner and gets it. That's a nice shot from Courtney Peixoto. Say what you want to say, but that's a great shot.
Why would I say anything different? I mean, obviously, it's a
18
great
serve 7.
shot. Great serve there from Courtney. Dave, I know you've seen this. Courtney's is on the outside side wall of the Watsonville 3-wall courts, which are named after her.
Point.
It's called Emmett Park Courts, after her brother and, of course, the pun on
19
Courtney.
serve
And that's
7.
number 3 on the weekend. Also included full-on humble brag just about
Point.
45 seconds ago that went undetected by most, not by you.
Time out. 1 minute.
It was such a unbelievable humble brag that it actually bordered the all-out brag.
I just ignored it.
Yeah.
Only because I didn't want you to bring it up, but you did anyway, which now I've learned another lesson today. This is 3. That when you put those humble brags out there, I just need to recognize them at the moment. As opposed to wait, because it will come back again. This has now become the double brag. But nonetheless, let's go to Kara, who is courtside. Kara, what's going on?
Hey guys, I've got Jessica Gawley with me warming up for her next match coming up against Catriona Casey for the finals. You've played her before. She's talked about it, that you guys played a few times this past 12 months. She told me that she's taking some things away from those matches. Are you taking away anything? Have your strategy coming in today?
Yeah, absolutely. I've played her 4 times in the last year. And every time she forces her opponent to make mistakes. And so my goal today is to take the shots that I have and try to make as least errors as I can.
What's neat right now is you have great exposure. This finals is going to be aired on this ESPN, Watch ESPN. I know you have 7 siblings, is that right?
Yes.
And they're supporting you, watching you from home?
Yeah, it's unreal. They've all got together at my brother's house. They've got the beer and the chips out, and it's like Super Bowl for them. So some of them haven't seen me play since I was young, and they haven't ever watched this high caliber of handball. So they're all together. They're watching it on the big screen, and they're loving it.
Can you hear them while you're playing? Do you hear the support and the cheers when you have that good shot?
You know what? I can hear my dad, because my dad coached me when I was little, so I can hear things that he would say to me throughout the years. And then I can also hear my sister Sasha, that has always been a really big supporter of mine. So definitely.
Best of luck today.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Kara. Yeah, you know, that's one great thing about this
20.
is that the players
Serve 7.
and the game of handball so personal, and the family members are all gathering. This is a really big thing right now across the country. Some of these players first time seen on TV, even the live broadcast, whether it's ESPN or just the regular feeds. So it's exciting to see those big viewing parties. Minnesota's having one. Jessica Gawley and her family having it. Peixotos are having them, but they're here courtside. And literally every single one of the families here.
My sister and my nephews. My dad had a big one yesterday.
Yeah,
they're sprouting.
I saw the pictures from your father's
7, serves 21.
man cave. And
that was actually my sister's man cave.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I felt you played good in that match. But actually, they gather to watch the other players play, which is interesting, but true.
Yeah.
Yvonne August, her husband, Ed.
8, serves 21.
Former qualifier in 91. He's watching. Fresno. Looks to the right, going to go to the left.
Short.
Down the middle. Misses on that serve.
Second serve.
Clips the side wall, goes around the revolving door. Dave, some of the players talking about having troubles with this back wall here. It was designed so you wouldn't have troubles. Did you have anything wrong with it when you played?
I thought it was the best back wall I've ever played, but it's interesting because different players have problems with different courts. I find it impossible to play off the back wall at the U.S. Open, but I've never heard anyone else complain about it. We might see some pointing after this rally, Dave. Hope so.
Pointing occurs whether you win or lose the rally.
Well, a lot of times it comes from either executing the way you wanted to or not executing. And Yvonne had a chance to win this rally earlier.
But she's really keeping Courtney behind her here.
But Yvonne's not letting the ball drop at all in the front court.
There's some pointing right there, really quick. And some talking, too.
Yeah.
I want to put a microphone on Yvonne just so we can hear with some of those.
10, serves 21.
It's like a PowerPoint that's going on where she's narrating what she's using with her little laser pointer. And that just clipped in, and she puts her hands up like, sorry about this. But she gets another point here at 11 to 21.
Well, this has been, sorry to interrupt you, Dave. I do apologize.
Really?
11,
yeah.
serves
No,
21.
I thought you were nearing the end, but now I realize you weren't.
No, I don't remember what I was going to say.
Yvonne has outscored Courtney 11 to 8.
Short.
In the last 19 points.
Yeah, but she was down 15 to 1 at one point, so
Second
she really
serve.
does need to make that, instead of 11 to 8, more like 15 to 8.
Point.
Well, Courtney's biggest weakness has always been her conditioning. For some reason, Dave, she just seems to wear out during matches. And these 25-point matches, a lot of people say, well, it's so quick. Well, not when you're in there, it's not. It doesn't feel quick at all.
Well, it's not quick. It's the opposite. I think the 15-point games are quick, in my opinion. Unless it's one of the Peixoto matches. That's a big setup for Yvonne. Goes down the right wall as a slider.
Oh.
Courtney hits the ground there, stays down, sort of. And back again. Look at what Yvonne's doing to Courtney here. Side to side, left to right. First big setup for Courtney, and it's going to be replayed.
Courtney's got a great left, but she tried to drive that straight down the left wall, but ended up drifting back towards the middle, and that was the reason for the hinder.
12, serves 21.
That's an amazing serve. How does Courtney dig that out? And she's in the rally now.
Just misses the roof. Big setup for Yvonne up front. Goes down to the right. Courtney just barely gets a hand on it. Another point, and we should see a timeout. And we got it from Courtney Peixoto, her very first one of this match. You can see a turn here as Yvonne is pushing Courtney literally left to right, left to right. Very Muhammad Ali-ish, as she is wearing down Courtney for that big final blow that she is hoping to put on her. Now, Courtney can call this timeout, come back with some fervor.
I think Muhammad Ali was more of an in-and-out guy. Pacquiao's more of a side-to-side guy.
I was talking about the wearing down with the punches. He's punching to the right, punching to the left, trying to make Courtney get her legs weary.
30
and
seconds.
Then to try to put out the knockout punch with.
Okay.
Let's talk about, I know that you're a huge boxing fan, but
yeah.
George Foreman.
Yeah.
Just your impression of George and what he brought to the sport of sport of boxing. Was
10
it?
seconds.
Why are you laughing?
I just
Was he? Out of all the weird periods of time of having champions in boxing, is it just me as somebody who knows nothing about it, a complete novelty to even mention his name? I mean, was he a good boxer?
Well,
or
he was a great boxer. He was the greatest boxer, I think, in the 1970s, but Ali just mentally broke him.
I was talking about the one that at 50 when he was winning
beat Michael
titles.
Moore in
Yeah.
1994.
Yeah.
He knocked out Michael Moore after losing basically all the
13
first
serves
9
21.
rounds.
But I see his commercials now, and he looks like he's only 50 years old, but
Yeah.
he's probably like 90 something. How does
I
that
think-
happen?
I think he'd still be one of the top 10 heavyweights right now, sadly, for
Shut
the
up.
division. They said that George Foreman threw his punches so slow, but if it ever got there, it was lights out. And most of the time it did get there. That's why he's got
21
over
serves
50
13.
knockouts.
Peixoto only 4 points away. I like
Oh, that's
that.
a great shot. And that's how
Man.
Courtney started the match, with the right corner kill walk-off.
22 serves 13.
For those that don't like to take timeouts, that right there was the one.
Maybe reducing all timeouts to 30 seconds, Dave, could be the answer. I mean, what can you do in 30 seconds that you can't do or what can you do in a minute that you can't do in 30 seconds? You're just trying to catch your breath,
You can
right?
run back out there and make sure that somebody's watching your kid.
Oh.
13 serves 22.
That's one thing you could do in
Yeah.
60 seconds. I don't even think it takes, it might take 2 minutes to find out where he went. That's a nice shot from Yvonne. Courtney goes down to one knee. Courtney back with a fist again, down the middle though. Yvonne fist back. Courtney hits the corner, Yvonne digs it out.
Hold it.
And that's gonna be replayed. And now you hear the family all trying to get the referee to call unavoidable. Love it. By love it, I mean hate it.
It's actually the worst.
Well, now that you said that, I
13
actually
serves
love it.
22.
And by love it, I mean love it.
Short.
And Dave,
Second
there's a
serve.
stigma attached to an avoidable that shouldn't be. I mean, if you cross the path of the ball, it should be an avoidable. It's not a reason to be offended or a reason to hate the ref.
Or the players.
No, it's a part of the game. I mean, would you be offended that the ref called your serve short? It's just the way it is.
Side out.
Hearing that come from you is amazing. You have really grown up, Mr. Fink.
Well, I don't argue with refs. Not since
22 serves
January of
13.
2014 when I returned home from Houston.
I was there for that,
Yeah.
that meeting.
Getting it chewed.
Coming up in just a second, we'll define what it means. Right down the middle. Yvonne goes down low finally though, but because she was off balance, why is it that sometimes when we get off balance and we allow the ball to get lower, we hit the best shots we've ever hit?
13
Is that
serves
an
22.
indication we should probably let the ball drop a little more? 13
Well,
to 12.
I think
22.
when you go down to the ground diving, anything can happen. You can flip the
Short.
ball up in the air. You can hit it in the ground. I mean, it's just a kind of a crapshoot. Unless you're Chapman and you do a pre-dive, dive, float it right in front of yourself and lay there.
Second serve.
I want to say hello to former NFL quarterback Jake Plummer watching this live broadcast with his wife Colette and his two amazing kids.
I also want to second that hello, Dave. I was thinking about Jake the other day and meant to email him to say hello, and this now
You don't have to. We can
erased.
actually.
No, it erased it because I jumped on your bandwagon. So
Nope. He'll
Point.
ask us a question. We'll answer it, and then it's like we're having a real live conversation.
well, I do want to say hello to Jake and
Do you
his
listen to
beautiful
his-
family. I
his-
do listen to Snake's Takes.
yeah,
yes.
they're amazing.
Yeah. I loved hearing your 1 hour and 30-minute interview on there.
14
Jake
serves
asked one
22.
question, and when I finished the answer, they said, "Okay, we're over by about 30 minutes, but I think it's time to go ahead and wrap this
Yeah.
segment up."
Mhm.
Sorry, we didn't
Well,
record this. We're going to have to do it
replay.
over, Mr. Vincent.
Yeah.
2 serves.
Snakes takes her.
14
Amazing. Watch
serves
and
22.
listen to the podcast.
Just waiting for the WP's podcast.
What's going to happen? I have a
Side
feeling.
out.
Look at that revolving door, flat rollout from Courtney Peixoto.
22 serves 14.
Courtney Peixoto really playing good handball at times in this match. I mean, she looks like she could be a top 2 player, I'd say, throughout about 75% of this match, Dave.
Yeah, her shots today are amazing. Oh, look at that get right there.
Wow.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, she's flying all over the court here. That was amazing, Dave. She got that ball on her knees. This is remarkable. This is one of the best shots we've seen of the whole tournament.
Second timeout.
Here's where Courtney dived. And she anticipated what she had to do, slid in on her knees, flipped it to the backcourt, got back up, fist pump.
And just the perfect angle to catch the side wall, because if she doesn't catch the side wall there, it's going to come off the back wall, and the rally probably continues. But
and what can you say about that, though? That was truly inspiring.
I thought Yvonne had won the rally with a dump shot down the right, and Courtney, sensing that, had already taken off before Yvonne even hit it. That's just 20 years of on-court experience.
Yeah, that was remarkable. Now, we're just seeing one level here. Dave, you know this club has multiple viewing sections, and we're just seeing this little slice.
Yeah. What about the overflow room with the big screen?
Well, yeah, that's
TV?
packed too, but we, for some reason, our wireless camera doesn't get the signal back here through all of this iron and steel. After that newly renovated multi-million-dollar remodel they had.
Yeah, 4th one actually in 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Didn't know that.
I can think of some other clubs that could use one of those remodels instead.
Resuming play. 23 serves 14. Point.
And Courtney now just 1 point from 5th place, and that's a big accomplishment, Dave.
Possible match point, serves 14.
Big setup here for Courtney. And Courtney just getting to everything.
Can you believe that right there?
And now Courtney Peixoto on the ground there. Amazing. I mean, that was just an incredibly impressive performance from Courtney Peixoto Mello. Speed, power, offense, great serves. Yvonne August actually played quite well, Dave, particularly in the second half of this match, but it wasn't enough as Courtney just too strong here today. And
she's crying.
Yeah.
I mean, she really put it out there. I think there's a lot of, I would call it baggage, but not in the way that most people would use it. There's some baggage here in the sense that you have an individual who lost the national championship final when she was favored to win, 2004. She was very young at the time. She just put everything out there to win this match, and she did. And you can see that she has tears in her eyes right now. And I think she's saying, I just did what I needed to do. I know that against the same person who beat her in 2004, I think the monkey in that sense would be off of her back. But, you know, I can't speak for her. Hopefully we can get Kara Mack to get an interview with her. But you can see it was emotional for her to get this win, and I think it's for a major reason. I mean, you can still see she's crying. And
well, Dave, any match you win is incredibly emotional. When you come out here on this tour and you're able to beat anybody, it's emotional because everyone's putting so much into this. And to be able to come away with a win, you know, particularly against a rival, I can describe it. I think the tears really say it all. And we're now do have Courtney Peixoto and Kara Mack. Kara.
Hey guys, how does this feel right now? You did everything to win that match. You were on the floor, I can't say how many times, winning those points though to go with it.
It's amazing. I feel like I haven't won anything in so long. I don't know, I thought I was washed up, but I feel like I played good. Feels amazing. I feel like crying, but it's probably because I'm pregnant.
What does it feel too? I mean, you went out there and to feel that way that you were done. What were you telling yourself? Making a weak effort at it. You were going for every little point that you could.
I mean, it's my last time playing in a for a while, so I just wanted to give it my all. I mean, I'm dead tired, but I just wanted to win. I want to feel good again, you know?
Does it inspire you to keep on going?
Well, not right now because I'm going to take it easy and just be pregnant and fat, but yeah, I mean, in the future, hopefully.
Great way to go out, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dave, I mean, okay, so we didn't want to say it before, but
Yeah.
both of us did know that she was pregnant prior to the match and also even the event even happening, but she finally let it out and said that she is expecting. But you saw how she was throwing her body around the court there,
Yeah.
but she did it in a way to protect the child. You saw that she would dive to her knees, and you and I both would look at each other like, wow, this is really amazing. What made some of those amazing shots there were the fact that she was able to protect the bun in the oven while also rolling out the ball at the same time.
Well, fortunately for Courtney, she has a way of diving onto her back anyway, so it wasn't that big of an adjustment as we've seen in the past. But Dave, I mean, that was a 5th place final, and I think there was more emotion attached to that than maybe even a Players' Championship win. You see how much that meant to Courtney, and she really earned it, Dave. She played just a phenomenal, incredible match. It was just really an honor and delight to watch that.
Yeah, that was intriguing also, just the conversation in itself, just watching her emotion. And, you know, we always want that in sports anyway, but to see her say that, you know, I'm not going to be playing for a while, but it was finally nice to win something. And just to quantify the fact that how important it is to just get a final. And, you know, this is 5th place. And you'd say, well, it's 5th place. You didn't really win. But, yeah, you did. You actually played a match to win a title, and you got the title. And there is something to say about that.
It's really more in these events about who did you beat, because you know in your mind who the guys or the ladies that you're gunning for, the people that you really want to beat that are great players that have beat you in the past. And you come to an event and you knock one of them off and you feel on top of the world. You just beat somebody that you've been trained to beat. It's never easy to get a win against them. And that's when you see all that emotion come pouring out. You don't have to win a tournament to feel like you've been successful.
We're going to take a break. We have the women's finals coming up right around the corner. Jessica Gawley from Canada going up against Catriona Casey, Ireland. But it feels like Catriona Casey is from San Francisco. They've really embraced her, and they love Jessica Gawley here. So this is a really cool feel for the local crowd and those internationally that are watching across the oceans and here in the United States on ESPN. And the Watch ESPN app will have more handball action on the WPH World Players of Handball Race for 8 Professional Handball Tour from San Francisco coming up. Stick with us.